Fantastic. Well, today's call is going to bring a wealth of real estate experience and leave you with a lifetime of knowledge, techniques that you can use in your business and personal life. We're going to start off, sorry, I'm letting people in as we speak. We're going to start off the call with a woman who literally just hit a milestone in her business and actually in the industry. She just crossed over 100 transactions. She's actually technically at 103 closed transactions by herself and over 33 million in volume. So we wanted to congratulate you, Morgan Grimes. Woohoo! Everybody can come off or you can clap.
That's just for clarity. That's this year. That's not in her career.
Nope, that's year to date. So Morgan, thank you for being on the call.
And for clarity, my dad said he's never accomplished that in his entire 35 years.
It's actually 38.
38.
Yeah, so it's a great accomplishment, Morgan. Yes, I have with the team's help done that certainly, and we've done it again this year. However, you had the support of the team. However, you had to go and sit at 100 kitchen tables and get the contract signed and all that other stuff. And so you have now accomplished something that I have not accomplished. So I'm very proud of you, and tell everybody how you did it and how they can go do it.
So we're going to start off with Morgan. I want everyone to get a little bit of background on your business. How long have you been in the industry? How did you start, and how did you start in the business?
Well, I think most people may or may not know the story, but I got my real estate license in 2009. I just graduated. Oh geez, I was just out of college, and just in case my dad died, I wanted to make sure I could take over the business. So as a Christmas present to my dad, I got my license with no intention of
bought me a aerial plot at the same time as it was part of
a and then lo and behold, 2009 knows, I started going out there selling real estate and working real estate, and it was the worst time in real estate to ever become an agent. At Larson, to get the license, it was 3 people in there, and now you can't even get a spot to get your license. It's so packed. So I started at the bottom, and every day's been better since.
That's awesome. So I know a lot of people are, struggling with, 5, 10, 20 transactions per year just with their life and their business. So how are you able to juggle 100 transactions and have a home life and have kids and show up to the office? How are you able to do that?
Well, I got this agent named Chris who's in charge of decorating the Christmas trees this year, so that helps my plate. And then, of course, with the team, we have transaction coordinator, listing coordinator, launch coordinator. It's a streamlined process. It's a whole system. I can't do the number of units and volume without the support and leverage. Leverage is key.
Okay. One of the things I asked our team leader is what are people struggling with right now in the industry? And one of them was value proposition. So how are you able to sell your value proposition in this market?
Yeah, I can understand that struggle. It's really listening and asking questions and coming from contribution. And again, just finding out what is really their motivation and their big why on selling, because agents can zone in on a commission or zone in on price, but that may not be the driving factor. So just finding out what is a driving factor and then letting them know, all right, well, what is your goal? And let's hit that goal together, instead of just coming in there with a set price or a set mindset. I mean, it's just, you have to just listen. And I'm the least patient person out there, but in this business, I've learned to become a patient person.
How did you learn that?
I had a great coach, Denny.
Well, this is a great question. And before I go, because it's kind of a role play class, that would be an awesome thing. And I don't want to get ahead of you, Sonny, because you probably scripted this out. That's because you're a great planner. However, it might be beneficial for the people on here if maybe could you set up a role play, Morgan, how you do that with a seller, and if somebody plays you straight up, you pick somebody out, Sonny, to be the seller, and I'd like to see how you do that. And would that fit in with your schedule before I have to go?
Morgan?
Hello.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to just role play it through. I mean, every scenario is different. I mean, I'm no pro, but I'm happy to do it.
I think
I'm
100 transactions, you're a pro.
All right,
So-
T, I'm gonna have you be the seller. T Baron.
Hmm?
I'm
T,
gonna
are you
have
on?
you be the seller.
I am.
All right. Well, let's take about 3 or 4 minutes, and in fact, we'll make it a little complex because many times you meet with a couple, and you guys haven't rehearsed this. So, T, you and Bryant are selling a house together, and so you guys are the sellers, and you might have a different question or whatever. So, Morgan, you're sitting down and you're talking about value proposition, and so T, where would you like to start with that?
Well, Morgan, thanks for coming out today, but I feel like maybe we can, with the way the market is, we can just sell it ourselves.
Okay, I can understand that. Now, what about selling it yourself is important to you?
Well, I mean, I can sort of be in control of when people are in and out of the house, and with the market being so hot, I get to, keep the money that you want me to pay for commission.
Let me ask you, so based on that statement, is commission important to you or selling it on your own important to you?
I don't know. I think that the commission, I don't want to have to pay it. I want to save that money.
So how much commission do you think you are paying when you hire a professional?
I don't know. Like our friends just sold theirs and they had to pay 6%. That's a lot on $800,000.
Is it more important on how much you pay in commission or how much you net from your sale T?
How much I net? Yeah, what I get to walk away with.
And don't
If I
forget
can-
there too, so you can pipe up.
What?
Bryant's there. Bryant's with him and T are selling the property themselves. So Bryant, I mean, I know it's a little awkward because they're not in the same spot. So let's just assume this brother and sister, and they're selling this piece of property for their folks. So Bryant, you can speak up too, or Morgan, you can bring Bryant in too. Bryant, can you hear me? Are you still there?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm actually just thinking. I was listening, but
So T, again, if I can show you and Brian how we can net you more money and hold on, now you completely threw me off, Dad. So can't interrupt. I'm running role play. Come on.
I said that from the beginning.
yeah, Morgan, aren't we supposed to even pay a commission anyways if a buyer is represented by an agent?
Are we supposed to pay you a commission anyways? I mean, if there's another broker involved, yes, that the other broker. Are you asking me a question or is this role play? I'm confused now.
No, that's a legit role play question.
He wants to know, so if we
If
sell it ourselves, we're already going to be paying 3% to the buyer's agent. And then you want us to pay another 3% to you, right?
Correct. So again, is it more important how much you pay in commission or how much you met from the sale?
well, I think it's more important how much we walk away, net during the sale.
Okay, so again, if I can show you that you can walk away with more money in your pocket, paying, doesn't matter what the commission is.
How are you gonna do that?
Great.
I now we get to the value proposition. Okay, so now you're there, Morgan. You're at the value proposition. They ask you, well, how are you going to net them more money? So this will be, let's just kind of wrap up this little role play and how you would sell the value proposition. This goes back to the beginning of what you and Sonny were talking about. Why you? So you have a lot of conversation. I know that you have to interview for the business. They're not all lay down. So this now finish the conversation based on that.
So Brian and T, I understand you've interviewed some other agents. They've come in here with comp or past sales. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So based on those past sales, they may have given you a figure or a number for your home that's of value in today's market. And so my concern is that's past data. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. So where do you think the market is going as of today?
It's going up.
So do you want an agent that's looking at the future or the past?
The future.
All right. So there's an opportunity for us to get you top dollar because we look at the future. We don't look at the past data.
So what do you think I should sell my home for? Or what do you think we should sell it for then, Morgan?
You know, that's a great question, T. Again, I'm happy to go over the factors of the range of the market. I can't tell you what it's going to sell for. I don't have a crystal ball, but at the same time, I'm a fan of being aggressive in this market because as a seller, you hold the cards. Is that not correct?
I'm just going to stop you. I've never heard anyone say that. And I'm not blowing smoke because you're my daughter. I love the line. I'm a fan of being aggressive in this market because that favors you. I've never heard that before. I just think it was a nice little pearl. So that was a good line, Morgan. Keep going.
So again, as you know, Team Brian, you hold the cards in this market. So based on that, then I would get into their goals of their price and all that stuff. But I would never tell them where to start at or never divulge a price to start at. I would let them.
All right. So one more minute, Sonny, I'll turn it back to you. Then I've got to get downstairs. One more minute, Morgan. So I'm going to take over as a seller. Well, you're showing me all these houses that sold in the past, right? You know, the other people said basically they came in and said we should be able to get $550 for it. And I just want to know, I mean, you're the professional. I want you to tell me what we should sell it for.
Well, Denny, may I ask you a question? Have you ever gone fishing?
Yeah, a long time ago.
All right. So do you throw the bait out? I mean, do you throw the hook out there with a bait on it or if no bait?
No, I mean, obviously there's bait on the hook.
Okay. Well, so in this market, fish are swimming upstream. So when I say aggressive, we're throwing the hook out there with a bait on that's very attractive and fish are swimming up to you. So how aggressive do you want to start?
Are you saying the fish are the buyers or the fish are who are the fish?
Buyers.
Okay. So they're swimming upstream. All right. So, well, hey, you talked about not leaving, money on the table, and I don't want to leave any money on the table. The other agents are saying 550. What do you think?
Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but I have seen irrational buyers in this market. All that comes and goes. So again, what's a number that's going to make you feel comfortable that you did not leave money on the table?
So as I pull this role play to an end, and I'll let you guys go in another direction, I just want to see how you handle that. What she's modeling, guys, is what we've been teaching. John's been teaching us is that, again, it's all about setting expectations and not prices. I pushed her a couple different times, and she's not throwing the number out there. And she's done a pretty good job of staying on the question point. So I'll give you props for that. And for anyone that's on the call, then I'll just kind of let fade away into the darkness here. The bottom line is, and I'll just add this to it, and add my touch to it, is that let me land the plane on how I would do it, and not taking anything away from Morgan's spotlight on her 100th transaction. So Morgan, you're now the seller. So you said the other agent said 550?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this then. Basically, if are you prepared to list with me at 550 today?
I don't know. No.
Okay. What number are you prepared to list with me at?
I want top dollar.
Okay. And what is that in your mind?
I mean, I want to walk away with, I want to clear, 675.
675. So you're talking about clear it net 675, correct?
Mhm.
That means we'd have to sell it for more than 675. We'd have to sell it for maybe even 700.
Correct.
And just for clarity, the other agents are saying 550.
Mm-hmm.
Did you kick them out, or did you kick them out and slam the door in their face?
Well, that's why I called you, because people keep telling me to call you guys because everyone else was telling me a lower number.
Got it. So are you saying that if we could net you 675, you'd be willing to do business with us?
Yes.
All right. At that point, you guys, now this is a interesting little conversation to have, and I just want to put a bow on it now. My whole philosophy right now is get the commitment. What would it take to get the commitment? Now, we're not done chopping wood. We're not fleshing the meat off the bone yet. However, you do have the competition's blown is not there. It's up to you. So I would knuckle bump them. Okay. Hey, look, we sell to 700. You win. I win. Blah, blah, blah. I'm on your team. And then I would go into the conversation. What if the market says no, etc. Rather than getting into a wrestling match on the listing price, if they're willing to list with you, what you want to do is eliminate the conversation and then kind of move your chair to their side of the table and see if you can counsel them. And we won't go into the 1 to 3 things. There's a lot of things that Morgan could go into. However, that's not really germane. I just wanted to see a kind of a role play, and because that makes my heart go pitter patter. So I'll turn it back over to you, Morgan. Nice job. Thank you guys for role playing, and have an awesome call.
Thank you, Morgan. I have a couple more questions. We have a couple more minutes before Natasha comes on. So what is next for you? So you hit the 100. What are your goals for 2022?
Hire a assistant for myself.
Oh, well, that was my next question. Are you going to be adding anything to your business?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is my coach, and so we've been talking about it, and that's my goal for next year. My goal for this year was hit 100, and once I hit 100, then hire somebody I pay, not from Keller Williams or DGT, but out of my own money to help my business grow. And the biggest weakness in my business is follow up, because I'm so busy with appointments that I need someone to follow up with all the other people that are in queue.
Mm-hmm. What was the biggest lesson that you learned this year in this market?
That I would never make it without a team. I mean, with COVID, when we had COVID, when I had COVID twice, I still got business done because of the team. I mean, just, you never know what life brings you, but that's, I mean, it's a family. And so, you can be solo on your own, but I think I couldn't survive without the support of everybody else around us.
Oh, is the Denny Grimes team on here right now and feeling the love? We're feeling it, Morgan.
I have
tears in my eye.
So, Morgan, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being on today. We all want to congratulate you from the bottom. Oh, I'm being told one more thing. Hang on, what's going on?
So the one thing, Sonny, I told you I wanted to tell is, so let me turn the camera around so you don't get my nose boogers. Hold on, how do you do that? All right, so just so people understand, I mean, I have a whole wall here of files. So every time I go on a listing appointment, I save them. And so I have them by years. And then if I don't get the listing or they're not ready to sell, they're all right here. And so when they call me, I have them saved, and when they say, hey, Morgan, perfect example is Bald Eagle, Becky. She called me 3 years later ready to sell. And I picked up the file from over there. I said, oh, I know your dog's, I remember your dog's name. I remember your house. I don't have to go over there and see it again. We can just sign the paperwork. Let's go. So again, it comes into, just because you don't get the listing, save it and have a system for it, because you never know when they're going to call you back.
That's awesome. That's a super golden nugget. I hope everybody wrote that down. 3 years later, she still had the information and was able to pick up with that seller like she had just been in the house the day before. Do you have any more nuggets you want to drop?
No, that's, I mean, just my biggest thing is farming. And so I don't have to go into all that. But I love our events. I love our pie days, Santa, you know, our Santa's coming to the office, and you know, I just love all the stuff that we give back to the community. So again, we come from contribution. And so whatever you can do to generate free business into your office or into your database, because open houses are few and far between right now, because they sell before you can have one and advertise for it. So you have to be creative on how to generate free business.
Mm-hmm. And there is a time of year that Morgan does make calls. I know she said that she has a tough time doing it just because she's so busy, but she did just recently make some of her pie day calls and tell them what happened.
Oh, okay, Sunny. Yeah, no, they're the easiest calls ever, because who doesn't want a free pie? And then one of my past clients said my mom needs to sell her home. And so I got that listing. And then again, you never know what time you're going to hit them right with. And I'm not a fan of the phone. I have a phone phobia. So Sunny got me to call, and it worked. So, you know, again, even though I can close 100 units, I still have my phobias. And I'm always working to be a better agent. So next year I want to be a better agent.
That's awesome. Does anyone have any questions for Morgan? We have a couple more minutes. I do see that Natasha's on, but does anybody have any questions for Morgan? Okay, Nicole.
Hi, Morgan. So I actually have a question. You are a solo agent. You did 100 units and you didn't have any help at all? Or did you just have like kind of a part-time help? Or did you have like, are you on a team structure, or you just have like friends you rely on? Like what, let me trying to understand. Like, that's amazing. And I'm like really feeling like crap about myself.
On a team. So I have a transaction coordinator, a listing coordinator, a launch coordinator, director of ops. So we are on a team.
Okay.
Still, the 103 transactions were all my
yeah. That's, but you do have some admin support, because I can't imagine. Yeah, that's amazing. Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I couldn't have done it without them.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great question. Masha, did you have a question?
I had a question and might have been answered, and we probably know the answer. What was the pie thing that you did in the office? Were you calling the referrals and offering them pies, or what was that little hint?
It's our pie. So I don't want to go into too much detail. Maybe we can have a separate conversation for it, but it's, we give away holiday pie for all of our, it doesn't have to be a past client, it could be somebody we know, family, friends. It gets them in our office face to face, and that's key. And then when they're in the office to pick up the pie, then we ask for referrals.
So Masha, this year, our team will probably give out about 500 pies, and we'll probably get over 120 referrals from that event.
Okay, maybe I'll ask in the chat how you ask for referrals, because I was planning to baking 10 of myself and bringing them. So maybe you have some better idea.
Go to Costco.
It's super easy. Yeah, you could go to Costco, but the referral is really easy. So you can do like a little bit of a giveaway. So do you want to answer it, Morgan, or do you want me to?
Again, I don't want to take up time from the next step.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe we can have a call next week could be for Pi Day, or, I mean, again, I don't want to take
Or in
away.
the chat. I'll just ask in the chat. Don't want to take time, as I said. Thank you.
And Sunny, please give her my phone number and email.
Okay, sounds good. I'll do that. Anyone else? We have a couple more minutes. Anybody else have any questions for Morgan?
I have a question.
Hi,
Hey,
Brandy.
Hey. So in regards to the listing, when you go on your listing appointments and you get, the person telling you that somebody is there, they have another agent that can list it for less. Like, if you are not able to overcome that, are you okay with accepting the lesser percentage? Like, if you normally offer 3%, that's your standard, would you take 2, or would you just say, no, that's not, I'm a full service agent and I'm not going to go lower than that?
That's a great question. I mean, the story probably I would tell is, again, when I go and get surgery, do you want a doctor that operates on 1 patient a year or on 100 patients a year? And are you willing to pay a little bit more for someone that does 100 operations a year, just so that you are financially and you're going to live through it?
Right.
And so again, you just have to put depending on so I would find out what they do for a living and then relate that back to that same, whether they're a surgeon or they're in the furniture business or they're in something else, find out what they do for a living and then put the perspective in their minds as to why would they cut corners in their business, and show why you're worth your 6%, because sellers will pay for it. They just get a weak agent at a weak moment.
Right.
And then end up possibly leaving money on the table.
Gotcha.
Great question. Thank you, Brandy. And thank you so much, Morgan. Again, congratulations. We're all very excited for you. All right,
Thank you.
Natasha, let me find you on here. Are you on?
I'm here.
Okay.
Hey, Sunny.
Thank you so much for being on today. So we are going to have the pleasure of hearing from a huge leader in Keller Williams. She's the OP of 5 market centers. She was part of Gary's top 100, and now she's adding broker of our Fort Myers office to her long list of accomplishments. Natasha Tello is going to knock this out of the park. She's going to show us how to start 2022 off awesome, probably how to end 2021 super strong. And I'm just so honored to have you on today. Natasha, take it away. I'm going to make you host, correct?
Thank you, Sunny. Good afternoon, everyone. Sunny, I appreciate the opportunity to hang out with you guys. Thank you, Denny. And Morgan, congrats on your success. That's a huge, huge accomplishment. You should be super proud of yourself. And I can't wait now to see what you do in 2022 with that. So we're going to talk a little bit today about what are you doing to set yourself up for an amazing 2022. But I want to start with a story. So as I do, I want to make sure you all have something to take notes with. And I don't care if you use your phone and you use a notepad, if you have a pad of paper, you're going to want to write some things down after I share the story. So I'm going to begin. A very playful and curious and funny child lived in a small town. His parents had a farm, and he considered all animals on his farm to be his friends. The chickens, the ducks, the pigs, the cows, these were his playmates, and he spoke to them daily as if they could actually understand him. One day, a gigantic circus arrived in town, and the little boy had never seen a circus before. Everyone at school was talking about it, and they all said they were going to the circus after school. So the little boy went home to talk to his parents, and he asked his parents if they would take him to the circus. He was dying to watch the jugglers he'd heard of, the clowns, and the really strange animals. When he got there, he noticed they were very huge, mysterious animals, things he'd never seen before. They don't exist on the farm. A lion, tigers, an elephant, and several zebras. He was super, super excited and couldn't wait. The boy was so fascinated that at the end of the show, he decided to go back at the back of the circus to see all these wonderful animals. As he walked around with his parents, he noticed that these animals were in cages. Wow, that was very different than the animals on the farm. But the one animal he noticed in particular was the elephant, because he was outdoors. And as the boy approached the elephant, he noticed something also. The elephant wasn't in a cage, but he had one of his legs staked to the dirt with a chain around his ankle. But the animal wasn't moving at all. And the boy could not get this chained elephant out of his head. He didn't like to see the animals in cages. But what affected him the most was this elephant. He was free, but he was really tied down at the same time. Although the chain was thick, the boy could tell that the elephant could probably remove it from the ground if he really wanted to. After all, he was a gigantic animal. So the boy asked his parents, "Mom, Dad, why doesn't he run away? I mean, he could. He's really big and that chain is really small." Well, the parents didn't have an answer. So the boy continued with his questions, and he was, after all, very restless. And the next day he went to a science teacher in school, and he asked her, "Why doesn't he run away?" And the teacher said, "He doesn't run away because he's been trained." And then she explained to him how trainers train their animals. Well, he understood that this animal was a trained animal. And as he got further into it, and he understood further that when that elephant was a baby, they actually chained it to the stake. And as that elephant grew, what the elephant didn't realize was that he had grown so large, he could have easily broken those chains. But the elephant only remembered being small and fighting against the chain as a baby elephant. That chain didn't budge. But at this point, he could free himself. But he didn't know, to the elephant, the memory of the impossibility of the past was much stronger than the possibility of the present. So the story of the chained elephant resembles people's stories, and people who remember and remain tied to past experiences and bad experiences. They don't try again because they're holding on to the negative experiences from the past. This holds them back from the real possibilities of the present. So what is holding you back from stepping into your greatness? What is holding you back from stepping into the greatness that 2022 is going to offer you? So I want to ask you all, and this is going to be the participatory section. Throw your hands or throw me a note in the chat. How many of you all have your plans, your business plan for 2022 completed and written? And there's no right or wrong answer right now. There's no judgment happening here. This is a safe zone. I want to see. Raise your hand. I see working on it. Awesome. Working on it is good. Anybody? I don't see. Let's see here. All right, guys, I'm on 2 pages here of people and I don't see a hand up. All right, so let me ask you a question because now I need to be really real with you all. What day is today? What's today's date?
Veterans Day.
It is Veterans Day, right? So
yeah.
Honors to all of our veterans. So it's November 11th. But in real estate, what day is it really?
A Legion Day. I don't know.
Great answer.
Basically, I mean, if you want to get business done and you have until the end of the year to get it, I mean, this is got to get under contract soon.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Morgan. It is, it's a Legion Day, right? Every Monday through Friday, unless you're taking today off, is a Legion Day. But really, when I ask you that question, I want you to think, in our business, we do business in 90-day cycles. So when I tell you, and it's November 11th, and that's the answer you give me, is it really November 11th or is it February 11th? Because the truth is what you do today affects what happens and what the income you earn 90 days from now. So if it's November 11th and we don't have a written business plan, that means we're not planning to have business on February 11th. I want you to let that sink in for a second. I really want to make sure that you start thinking through and start writing out your goals. Because I know some of you probably have it in your head. Yeah, I want to do X number of transactions. I want to do this. But a goal that is not written is not committed to. A goal that's in your mind is just a thought, but the action and activity comes because you actually write it down and you commit to it. And then you take it one step further and you share it with somebody. And I know for some of you, you're thinking, oh my gosh, I am not sharing my goals because I have not hit it in the past. There's all sorts of stories that you start telling yourself. But the truth is that's what's going to help you grow further. So whether it's a team member, a team leader, the team leader in your market center, a productivity coach in your market center, a MAPS coach that you might have, a coach in general, you've got to have that written business plan. And then you need to share it with somebody who you're going to ask them to hold you accountable to the goals you set. But I don't want you to just set a business plan because that's what everybody does. Most people set a business plan. Most business people set a business plan. I want to know, do you have a personal plan written? And you can write that down. Like, what the heck is a personal plan, Nat? Well, a personal plan is, what are your relationship goals? Some of you are like, I am already in one. I don't have a goal for that. Well, can you make it better? Could it be more awesome? Could you have more time together? Maybe it's friendships. Maybe you need to have more specific time for friends, right? What about your health goals? Do you have your health goals written down? Maybe it's eating better. Maybe it's exercising, whatever that is. Fitness goals. Those are your personal plan. And now here's the last one. And this is a really important one. So how many of you have a growth plan written out? Show of hands. Anybody have a growth plan written out? Awesome, Sunny. Thank you. Got one. All right. For the rest of you, you're going to write this down. I think I saw Jonathan's hand go up. You are going to write this down. Awesome. All right. Your growth plan. So what do you need to have in a growth plan? Well, you need to know, what do I want to learn next year? What do I need to learn next year such that I grow, so that my business grows to the extent that I do, right? So that's your growth plan. Who do I need to meet next year? Because the likelihood is you have a missing relationship in your life. If you're not attaining the goals that you want, you have a missing relationship. It's usually a who, not a what, but a who. What do I need to read? So what do I need to learn? Right? What do I need to read, listen to, whether it's podcasts or you read with your eyes or your ears? I'm cool with either one. Who do I need to know better? So who is it that's in your outer circle that you need to bring into your inner circle that's going to enrich your life and help you get to where you want to go? And last, and this is a really important one in that, is what do I need to let go of? What am I holding on to that no longer serves me that I need to let go of? For some of you, that's a relationship, could be a friendship, could be business habits, could be, there's a lot of different things it could be, but what do I need to let go of? For some of you, it's your mindset. It's that chain that the elephant was under that's holding you back from the greatness that you deserve. So after that, I want you to think about your financial plan. Do you have a financial plan for 2022, different from your business plan? I'm going to draw something for you guys. So since we have, oh, I need to share and sharing screen. Okay. Yes, I'm going to continue. All right. And since we're virtual, I'm going to use a whiteboard on here. So rather than using a flip chart, we're going to use a whiteboard. So as we do this, let's see here. We are going to draw first. All right. I'm going to apologize in advance. My physical drawings nor my computer drawings are absolutely straight and perfect. So just a heads up on that. That is not my skill set. All right, we're going to start up here. As I start drawing and start writing out, this should become more familiar to some of you. And if you know what I'm typing out, tell me what this is. You can come off mute.
It's
Who knows
similar
what
to
this
the cash flow quadrant.
Yes. I don't know who that was. I couldn't see your face. Who was that?
Ginger from Reno.
Awesome, Ginger. All right, so this is the cash flow quadrant. So for those of you who are not familiar with this, what that E stands for is this is your employee. Okay, so employee is at the top left. Then on this side, this is business. Then we're going to do self-employed. PL, Natasha. Okay, spelling is also not one of my skill sets. And investor. Well, it's not spelling, it's the typing. All right. So what I want you to think of when I talk about your financial plan, I want you to think about this. The left side of this quadrant is where you trade time for money. Some of you on this call may be up here in the employee realm. As a matter of fact, some of you may sit in all 4 of these quadrants, and I'll explain to you how. You may be an employee in one business, but you're self-employed in another business, right? We have a gig economy. So you may be an employee for somebody right now, and maybe you're working somewhere and you're self-employed within the real estate industry. But this is where we trade our time for money. On the right-hand side of the quadrant, this is where we start to trade money for money. And that's where I want you to start thinking about, no matter where you are in the quadrant, what can I do such that my money starts to flow? And I'll use a little line from here to ultimately here. What are you investing in? What's your plan for investing next year? I mean, we're in the real estate industry, guys. Most simple thing for us to do is to invest in property, but there's tons of other opportunities out there, right? And there's tons of different ways in which to do that investing. But I want you to start thinking as you're building your financial plan, it's not just to have a budget to pay your bills. And it's not just to have a plan so that you can save some money for a vacation or some of the nice things you want in your life. I really want to implore you, and the younger you are, the sooner you need to learn this lesson, is I want you to take that money and I want you to start having a financial plan where you're investing and you're checking on this constantly. By the way, this is part of your written plan that you provide your coach. So maybe it's an Airbnb you want to invest in. Maybe you want to buy X amount of doors. Share that with your coach. They will help you be accountable to those goals as you continue to create those financial goals for yourself. And now when you have all of those, let me go ahead and clear this screen. Any questions on this so far? Okay, it's dinging me for all sorts of people. So since I think I've got the hosting, Sunny, I'm just letting everybody in the room as I get that doorbell. Any questions so far on this? All right, let me go ahead and clear this one. I'll clear the drawings. All right. Now, the last 2 things I want to share with you. I want to talk to you about, as you build all of these plans, I want to talk to you about unique ability. And let me show you what I mean by that. So hang on as we draw some circles as close as I can get them to be a circle. I'm getting pretty good at this one. All right, you now should see 4 rings on your screen. I want you to think about this. And if you're familiar with the MREA book written by Gary Keller, the circles and your sphere and your database, this should look familiar to you, but we're not talking about your sphere right now. We're not talking about your database. We let Morgan talk all about that and the amazing things that you guys do with your database. But what I want to talk to you about is about yourself. So we're going to start out with the outer ring. And what I want you to think of is when you first got into real estate. When you first got into real estate, like me, most of us were pretty incompetent, right? We didn't know what we didn't know. We didn't, we weren't good at what we were going to start doing, right? We were pretty incompetent. But there are other things in your life that maybe you've been doing for a long time, but you might be incompetent at. These are things that provide you with lots of frustration, things that bog you down. It could be, for me, it's tiny details. Detail work is things where I'm incompetent. If my companies, I have an amazing team, and without them, obviously I would not be where I am. And I have a great team in our financial world, because for me, the details is what would hold me back. If I had to sit there and type in details, yeah, I could do it, but I'd be pretty stressed out and I'd be pretty frustrated. So the outer ring is areas in your life, things that you're doing where you are incompetent. The second section, the second ring, let's call it, let's see if we can get an arrow to go here. The second ring, would be what I would say is an area of competence. These are areas, these are activities, things that you have to do that you're merely adequate at. You know, you're okay at it, but a lot of people could do that activity better than you. You just do it because it's something that you have to do or that you're currently doing right now. But it does require more effort for you. There are other people that could do this with a lot less effort in competence. Then the next ring is where we would say these are areas of excellence. This is an area whereby these activities for you are your superior skills. Like you have a great reputation for this in this area. You may even be known for this, but you may not actually enjoy this. This may be an area for you where you don't even enjoy it, right? It's just something that you've gotten to do. So this would be considered your area of excellence. But right here in the middle is where I want you to focus, because this is your area of unique ability. So unique ability is something that you do, that you love to do, that you're probably the best at doing in your world, on your team, in your area. These are superior skills. You've got greater talent than most people in areas of unique ability. You have a passion around it. You love it. It doesn't feel like work to you. It's something that you do every day, but it doesn't feel like you actually are going to work. You have a lot of energy around it, and you get energy from doing it. It's not something that zaps your energy. It's something that actually gives you energy. And you are on a quest of never-ending improvement in your areas of unique ability. So as you think about your growth plan, and I said to you, areas of things that you have to let go of, I want you to think of all those things that you do right now in your 3 outer circles. And what could you do to get out of those 3 things? Who could you leverage those other areas or those other things to? And it might be something personal, might be something you have to hire somebody for. So what jobs might you have to get out of? You know, whether it's cooking, cleaning, landscaping, driving, shopping, whatever that is. Get rid of the things that don't serve you and start focusing on the things that do serve you, the things that bring you joy, the things that people will say, my gosh, you're so good at that. Because the more time you can spend there, all of your other plans that you're building, your financial plan will grow as a direct result of it. Your life plan will grow as a direct result of it. And clearly your business plan is going to grow as a direct result of it. So I'd like to know from you, are you going to drop the shackles in 2022 or let things hold you back? Or are you going to start to focus on all the things that you could do and the things that make you uniquely you to grow in this next market? You get to choose. You get to choose to live the life you desire. You just have to make a conscious effort to get there. I look forward to hearing about your growth. You guys can follow me on social media, friend me on Facebook, Instagram. On Instagram, I'm at Empowering Leaders. On Facebook, I'm on my name. But I would love to see what you're doing. I want to see your growth pattern, and I would love to hear more about what you're doing to work in your unique ability. We have a few more minutes, Sunny. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to stay on and answer any questions for your group.
Let's come off of mute and ask Natasha any questions that you have.
So you know where to find a business plan. Let's start with that one. Do you all have a simple one-page business plan you can do?
135.
Go ahead, Ginger.
That's like the GPS, right? Is that what you're talking about?
It's your GPS. That's your one-page business plan. You know, there you can do very in-depth, deep business plans, but the truth is, when you do those, you'll never open it again. They'll sit on a great shelf. You have a really smart shelf. But doing a one-page plan and keeping it in front of you is your best way to do it.
You can also use that for your personal plan, your financial plan.
That's exactly it. It's that same one, but you want to do one for each. And then you want to have that growth plan. You want to create that growth plan. That's the biggest thing that's going to help you move forward. And in that one, really, really, what do you need to let go of? What do I need to let go of? And what do I need to do to step into my greatness?
Natasha, what would you say is one of the most difficult things that you found in your business to let go of?
Depends. Well, for me personally, I think early on in my career, it was probably the leverage piece. Once I understood the leverage piece, I was so freed. You know, as for those of you who understand the DISC behavior styles, as a very high D, you know, it was control. You wanted control of the business because we knew we had such a great standard. We wanted to ensure everybody lived to that standard. And what I learned was people may not do it like me. They may do it better than me, which would be even awesome. Or maybe they don't do it as well. But the truth is I didn't have to do it anymore. So that was the hardest thing. And once you learn that, delegation and master of leverage is huge in growth. Awesome. Great question. Thanks, Ginger, for asking.
Anyone else have any questions? No one else? Al? No one else? Okay, so I did get your emails and I will email out the Zoom recording. I just want to thank Natasha and Morgan for taking time away from their business, their families, to be on the call today. You guys are awesome. I'm so proud to be in business with the two of you. And I look forward to hearing from Natasha about everyone's growth plans, business plans, personal plans. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.